Hello everyone. Today we are going to put ourselves in the shoes of a worldwide sales manager and use IBM Cognos Business Intelligence to not only view the performance of my regional sales managers, but also how it can empower me as a line of business manager to perform analysis on my data and import an Excel spreadsheet to seamlessly integrate it into an existing dashboard. So here's the dashboard that I see every day when I walk into the office. I want to see how my teams are performing across the world. So here in particular, I'm looking at Elspeth, her team, and how each individual team member is within her own is doing and performing. So in this case here, I can see through the team member Wordle visual diagram here on the left that Hans and Leah are doing particularly well within that team, as well as down below the sales by month, a bit of a trend that gives me a perspective as to how well they're doing through time. I can easily select each individual members that I want. So for example, Antoine, I can go back to another one, or Werner if I want to jump around, and each one of them will give me a better indication as to how well they're doing. If I'm curious and I want to look at each individual team members within their organization, I can simply start clicking around on the names themselves. So if I wanted to check on Amara or Sophie, I can click on their names right from the visualization, which will automatically filter all the other widgets on the screen to focus only on that individual. On the top right of the screen, I can see how I have some performance indicators. So whether it's revenue, gross profit, or cost, with some little visual cues to tell me if they're doing particularly well. So I can see here that Amélie is not doing all that well for cost. She may have some concerns there. I may want to follow up on that. But Elspeth's here, you can see how well she's doing. So the first tab was all about my team and each individual team members. But on the second tab, we can see a more global view, how my business is doing across each individual country. So if I click on the tab up on top for sales view, I can then start filtering on each individual country or regions around the world to filter and really take a look at them. So in this case here, let's focus more specifically on European countries. So on the right hand side, I filtered down only the countries that I want. And as you can see, the map on top filtered down, and I can only see the countries, or it displays only the countries that I'm interested in. So one of the things I can do as a business user, I can go in here, and even though I wasn't the original author of this dashboard, I can still go in and make some modifications. So for me in particular, I'm not a big fan of pie charts. Let's switch that over to stack bar charts. That gives me a much better view of the each individual sales amounts. On the right-hand side, I also have a grid. I'm much more of a visual guy, and I prefer to have visuals with visuals. So let's remove that part of it. But I know that I'm much more interested in, for example, sales pipeline, right? I want to see how my sales channels are doing. So I know that somebody else, and I've seen it as part of another dashboard somewhere else, that I can simply go into and drag in the report part from another report right into my dashboard. So there I go on the right hand side and I pick and choose the report part that I want to include in mine, and I simply drag it in. So right there I can go in and do the master filters information that's available to me. I can simply click on the map and all the charts respond to my selections. So same thing goes if I want to go back and start filtering on each individual country. I can do the same as before, where I can pick and choose the values that I want, and then everything responds and filters to those values. And being a worldwide company, it's not always easy to have information, everything combined together into one system. And I receive in my inbox every day an Excel spreadsheet that contains sales information. And rather than seeing them separately, and I look at here in my dashboard, and I also look at it on an Excel spreadsheet, I like to bring everything together. So here what we're able to do is that we can use Cognos BI to integrate the Excel spreadsheet directly into an existing dashboard and link everything together. So let's do that right now, where we're going to go into the portal and import the Excel spreadsheet to then seamlessly merge them together into my dashboard. So there I'm going into the import the data set, and I'm going to browse for it to then import it. Once it's imported, you can see on the left-hand side that I have a whole bunch of columns that were included into the Excel spreadsheet. I don't necessarily want each one of them. Sometimes what happens is that during the import, it doesn't always recognize the values that are imported. So, as an example, order number, I can do some lightweight modeling to correct what they are. So in this case here, order number, I simply want to say to the system, it's not, don't sum it, don't aggregate it, just put it to none. So I'm going to save this, this package into my own folder to then go back to my dashboard and include it into my own dashboard. So as part of the toolbox, I can drag and drop a report part and create a report part based off of that, that spreadsheet. So I'm going to select it and move it right in there. So I'm going to select the list, and on the right hand side I can see that all the fields that I had selected originally through the other interface appear here. I'm going to select them all just for simplicity. The employee names, I can see here that it came in as first name, last name. I'd much prefer to have them together as one, so let's combine them together. So me as a business user, I can simply go in here, combine the two together, create a calculation, and let's rename it to being employee name. But you can see how the names concatenated together without leaving any kind of space. I want to bring them together, so let's modify the expression here to add a space in between. The first name and last name columns, I don't need them anymore. Let's just get rid of those. So I select them and gone. Same thing goes with a calculation for the revenue and products. If I want to know the profits for each one of these sales, I can do a very quick calculation and select one column, select the other, and do a calculation. So I'm going to put a thresholds with some calculations. So if anything that's above 50,000, yeah, it's fantastic, it's good. But anything that's below, for example, 3,000, let's make that as not so good, maybe a little poor. Great. So now I have some conditional styles and conditional formatting on my numbers that I can see how things there are marked in green are good, and the ones that are in red not so good. I may need to do some further investigation to see why it's turning out to be not as good as I wanted to. And there you go. I have my Excel spreadsheet that I imported. Now I created a list off of it. I could have created a chart if I wanted to, but here I see them right there. Because Cognos has the ability to do a master filter, automatically the names of each individual sales reps is recognized as part of the employee names, and everything seamlessly just filters on one and the other. Let's also sort and group by the date. And we'll leave a message for our team to say, good job everybody, keep it up. So being a worldwide sales manager means that I'm on the road a lot, and I need to have access to the same content whether I'm on my laptop or on my mobile device. So here I've got my iPad with me, and I want to be able to access that dashboard that we were just looking at. So up comes IBM Cognos Mobile, and I launch it. I already have a connection defined here in the middle called My Reports at the bottom. That's defined to connect back to my BI server. So I'm just going to tap on that. Up comes the reports that I usually look at, and on top left there I can see that sales team dashboard is the dashboard that we were just looking at and we modified. So everything that I have access to right from my desktop, I also have access to it here. I can see that now all the same information is available to me. I can change in a very touch-friendly way all the values and filter. So if I want to go to a different sales manager, I can simply tap on the bottom right there, and up comes a very touch-friendly way of selecting the ones I want. So for example, if I want to choose Werner there at the bottom, I simply tap on it, and then the screen refreshes with that information. So same thing goes with if I want to filter down on Amara, I can simply tap on her name and then it changes that way. Up on top there, I can see that I have access to 3 little buttons. I can tap on the first one of those 3. That gives me access to all the different tabs of the dashboard. So in this case here, let's go to the second tab and see remember the world view of all my dashboard. So same thing again on the top right. If I want to filter in a very touch-friendly way, I guess I could always zoom in to see the information and then to select the check boxes, but that's not very practical. So all I need to do is simply tap anywhere on the screen, and up comes this very touch-friendly way of choosing the ones I want. So if I pick, let's say, if I want to see the ones from Europe, I can simply go in and pick the ones that I want, and then choose and deselect the ones I don't want. Let's pick Switzerland as well. There you go. So now I've selected the ones I want, and the information changes that way. Great, and then I can simply tap on the charts themselves and to filter down to the countries that I want. Right? So if I want to filter on Finland, I can simply tap on it. On the third tab as well, if I want to take a look at that spreadsheet that I imported, I can see the various different values that I have. And so here, for example, in terms of collaboration, if I want to highlight something that I see that I don't really like, I can always just simply tap on the top right of the screen. I have access to a little annotation feature, a little crayon, that gives me the ability now to circle things on the screen and to annotate and simply write on the screen. So take a look at this. There we go. And once I write what I want on the top right of the screen again, I've got this little share button. I can share it, and this will create not only an email with the screenshot that I did, but also a link back to that report, so that whoever receives this note can not only see what I've written, but also simply tap on the link itself to bring to that to that report. All right, so I'm not going to save that. I'm going to close it, discard it. All right. So even though I was on the road, I was still able to go into my BI server, look at all the values, take a look and manage my business from my iPad, look in all the information, sending some information back to my colleagues and say, hey, take a look at this. So let's recap here a little bit what I did as a business user. I was able to go into my dashboard, do some filtering, do some analysis, and take a look at the performance of each one of my teams. I was able to switch and click on the map itself, focus in on the various different regions of what I wanted to see. And then I was able to import as an additional file something that came in from the outside and seamlessly merge it into my BI environment to further my analysis and get a more complete view of my business. Then I went on the road, grabbed my iPad, and used the IBM Cognos mobile app to access all my reports and dashboards. So this concludes our demo of IBM Cognos Business Intelligence. Hope you found it useful. Thank you.